Once again, let us all recollect the kindness of the Triple Jewels. And with a full gratitude in heart, let us place our palms together to request Geshe to give us teaching according to the well wishes and capacity of the students. Geshe, kindly give us the teaching.
I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye Jula Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Bardo Tane Gyalso Che Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Chola Benjire Sanye Drubara Shom Sanye Jula Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Bardo Ave Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Trolo Penjire Sanje Drubara Isho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyalso Che Tage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Trolo Penjire Sanje Drubara Isho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Datha Gato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Te Sham Datha Gato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Te Sham Datha Gato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise in courses. The courses are taught by the Tathagata, the cessation courses as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, continuation from where we left. We are on page 188, in the middle, which reads, thus you should cherish these distinctions, and then it is also the question of the Naga King Anavattapta Sutra says, whatever is produced from conditions is not produced. Okay, this is a very important verse which is oftentimes cited, and if possible, I try to learn this by heart. Whatever is produced from conditions is not produced. It is not intrinsically produced. Whatever depends upon conditions, I consider empty. One who knows emptiness is diligent or conscientious. And so here it says that what is produced from conditions is not produced. Again, it is like conventionally, production is not there. What is produced from conditions is not produced. In Tibetan, this is the Tibetan verse. And so here the opponents, they may again cite this It's a sutra saying that in the Buddha taught there's no production. So then again the reading, because that the moment the sources that we refer to, that we cite, they become more and more, in terms of subject matter, they become more and more complicated. We need to have a very fine way of reading, very intelligible way of reading this, and we have to have the intelligence to unfold the meanings accurately. So here the Lama Tsongkhapa explained it. Okay, first let me just quickly explain what is there. Whatever is produced from conditions, for example, like say in our own lives, we see that some people are successful, some people not be successful, some people have problems, and problems are because of the conditions. Oftentimes, the major condition, I would say that even on a very surface level, is your selfishness. Is selfishness, that we cannot put ourselves in the shoes of others. The moment you're able to put yourself in the shoes of others, many of the problems will be resolved. So whereas when we don't put ourselves in the shoes of others, we see only from your perspective. You don't see from the other's position. Then you say everything is wrong, here is wrong, there is wrong, everywhere is wrong, and then you feel to whatever, say for us, anything, whatever the person does, something is wrong there. So whereas if you see yourself in the shoes of others, but dependence, okay, look, but dependence on the condition that you don't put yourself in the shoes of others, that is condition, your miseries ensue. Miseries are produced. Whereas here it says, whatever is produced from conditions is not produced. What is meant by that? This would be explained. And so in your real life, we see that, for example, the fans, how they work. There's the unseen electricity flowing. And there's a wire there. And when I was a little boy, in my father's place, very simple, did not have any of these toys, teddy bears, nothing. And then all the things to do, go into the garbage bin and then see what is there, and see some wires and the bulb on fuse bulbs. And then I said, okay, because I saw in the TC school, the bulb is there, wire is there, so I also got the wire there, and then I took it there, put it there, and imagine that light is coming up. So I don't see the complete picture of dependent origination. I only see small parts, like the wire and the bulb. I don't see the electricity actually coming from the source, hydropower or whatever, the generator. I did not have any of these ideas when I was a little boy, age 6, 7, 8. So think that there's a wire there, bulb there, it should glow. So I do not really see the dependent origination, that it depends on multiple conditions. So when you encounter with these things, then you see that, this is a problem. Because of that, the person is little, the self-centered, or let's say because there's a problem, because another person who's self-centered. It may not be your problem. It may not be your problem, but it's a problem related to somebody else, unnecessarily creating problems. So for example, this is a major thing that I'll share with you, that amongst your the family members, friends, and so forth, if you do come across such situations where, say, these school children, or in most cases, I would say, the college students, university students, they need signatures from the university officials. They go there, and then in the heat, they go there, and then they meet the official, and our officials say, "Come tomorrow." This poor child came all the way in the heat, hungry, thirsty, in the dust, pollution. And basically waiting. When some finally got there, and the person easily says that, okay, come tomorrow. And tomorrow you go there, he's not there. Totally heartless. Totally heartless. So it's not a problem of the child, it's a problem of the official. Official also, was once upon a time a student, a child. You should remember that. So therefore, what I would suggest to all of us, to make sure that in your own capacity, I know that there are some who are extremely, extremely kind. Government officials, so kind. So the government officials on various levels, and even the corporate managers, they're so kind. Some are so kind, some are heartless. This is very sad. So the point is that, but depends on these conditions, then the problems arise. Problems are created on yourself, and while creating problems on others, you are leaving an imprint, the poison in your mind. That this poison, one day in this life or in the future life, will manifest in a form of pain for yourself. Let's not forget it. And of course, here is I remember my friends saying, converting the converted. So you already, because the fact that you're interested in these means you're already a good person. So but you have your friends, you have your family members who have powers, who are in the positions. Just tell them to be nice, be kind, make things easy for the other people, the people who are dependent on you. So just putting one signature and the other person's life, the life becomes so easy. Just do it. Do it. For example, in Tibet house. Okay, by the way, before I continue, let me introduce my two very close friends, Dr. Sudhakarji and the Sudakshinaji, two of them, and the three of them, the scientists, and believe it or not, they are the ones who sent the Indian satellite to moon, and it landed on the moon. Yes, so thank you so much. And the three of them, one by one, the three, yes, your friends. Yes.
Ramakrishna, former director of ISRO Tracking and Telemetry Center. So I was during my job, we could land successfully Chandrayaan 3 on moon, and we could do all the experiments what we had planned.
Yeah, morning everybody. This is Shyam Sundar from Bangalore. I worked in the corporate world for about 30 years at various levels. So came out as a COO of a company. So here I am listening to this thing. Thank you so much for having us here.
And the one is hiding, Geshe Shudula. Geshe Shudula, some of you know, but most of us we don't know. And he is a brilliant topper in science before he became a monk when he was a very young boy. Brilliant in science, a topper in science in school, and later he joined the monastery. And extremely kind. So the kindness, compassion that I'm talking about, you can see that in him. Venerable Geshe Shudula. And let me quickly explain my friend, Dr. Sudhakarji and Sudakshinaji, two of them here. Let me quickly explain them. That Mr. Sudhakarji, he was the protocol officer of the Bangalore, of Karnataka state. All of us come under his office many years ago. His office, and he being the protocol officer for 14 years. Every time His Holiness flies to Bangalore, he is there to receive His Holiness. For 14 years. And then what happens is that at times His Holiness had to wait in the VIP lounge for like 1 hour, 2 hours, And Sudakshana ji present, a journalist by profession, and His Holiness is waiting there in the lounge, and Sudhakarji is there as the protocol officer, should attend to His Holiness, and Sudakshanaji is there and interested in Buddhist philosophy. He would ask questions to His Holiness, and His Holiness would spend whole 1 hour giving teachings to this. And it's not just one, for 14 years. So meritorious. So later, whenever His Holiness, after the retirement, whenever His Holiness sees them from distance, His Holiness said, call them like this. This is the kind of the merit that they had. And it is a great honor for me to be their friends for all these many years. Yes, welcome all of you here. Thank you. Okay, so with this, what I'm saying is that where in our life, whenever we see things come into being, but dependence on multiple factors. For example, like you're happy because of, for example, here, the Science Center, the director, and all the staff here in the Science Center, they're extremely kind, helpful, and the Tsanpa Khangtsen, you know, the monks. Just imagine that these are the factors which can change your mind. I need a house. I have a big house with 4 rooms. Somebody comes. I'm sorry, I have no space. But these monks, they move out of their own small room. This small room give to you. This is unbelievable. This is possible. So these, you hear about these things. These are realities. These serve as a condition to bring about change in your mind. By condition, change in the mind is produced. By dependence on conditions, there's something, change in the mind, becoming more compassionate, becoming more accommodating, is produced. So the text says that whatever is produced from conditions, what is produced from conditions means, is produced by dependence, not independently. Not independent. So therefore, what is produced from conditions? It is not produced intrinsically. It is not produced independently. So it's not produced. It does not mean it's not produced. It does not produce. It's not produced independently. It is not produced intrinsically. So it is not intrinsically produced. So second line explains what is the meaning of non-production in the first line. Whatever depends upon conditions. Whatever depends upon conditions, I consider as empty of intrinsic reality. One who knows emptiness. So now imagine that what we discussed earlier. Just imagine that, for example, let's say that just see, experiment it, and if you find it useful, then you can apply it and then make more extensive. For example, like you have, let's say, some issues with your colleagues, with your friends or family members, so forth. A little bit of issue there. So just think of that person. That person. Just see the person, and instantly your heart starts to palpitate. Tick, 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 tick. Okay. Usually, what I say is that said at your workplace you feel so tired because of meeting with the colleague, which is always very complicated, and then suddenly you see the announcement. There's a retreat happening in Drepung Loseling Tsanpa Center. Oh, so good! It's going to be respite for me. I sign up so that I don't have to see that person for the next 12 days. I'll get rest, right? And I sign up. And then Mana said, okay, do you have the visa? Do you have the PAP? You're getting it? So you have to apply. Oh, yeah, I'll apply. How to apply? Oh, now the next 12 days I'll have respite. And you come here. Oh, beautiful place. Very beautiful. On the other side, The colleague who you see as difficult, he's seeing you as difficult. He also looking for a respite. He also on the other side, he was checking and found retreat in this and no. and then the person passes by in front of you, passes by. What happened? And then your heart starts palpitating, Om Yatama stops. And the heart starts palpitating, happens. Okay, so there what happens? Your emotions, disturbing emotions, stress are aroused. Why aroused? By seeing the other person's intrinsically real. Now, just experiment it. So it says, whatever is produced from conditions is not produced intrinsically. So, it is not intrinsically produced. Whatever depends upon conditions, I consider them as empty. What do you mean by that? This person who makes me, just the mere sight of this person makes my heart palpitate, tick, 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 tick. So there, just see that this person is nothing but made of the different organs, the cells. This person made of the cells, the tissues, the cells. And cells are made of the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane. And the nucleus made of the chromosomes. Chromosomes are made of the DNA molecules. And DNA molecules are made of atoms. Is this person just pool of atoms? Just sit in your room and think of that person as a pool of atoms. Where is this person? None of the atoms is that complicated person. None of the atom is the complicated person. Where is this person? In your mind, you see that the person disappears, empty. Then see, with the moment you get this feeling, it may not be real emptiness, it doesn't matter. Even it's a very gross form of emptiness, still, just see how the mind works. Okay, Russian translator, can you hear me? So there's a... Okay, so when you don't hear, raise your hand. Okay, so just see how the mind reacts. Earlier, the moment you see how the mind reacted, the moment you see the person, mind started to, the mantra stopped, and your heart started palpitating. Tick, 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 tick. Now you see that the person is just not really there, it's just a pool of atoms. And how the mind reacts. Instantly, that palpitation slows down, and you feel the calmness. Just see that. You don't have to tell your mind, okay, calm down, don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to force yourself. Just see the emptiness and the mind automatically calms down. Just see that. If you feel the benefit, study emptiness more. Study emptiness more, practice more. Then you will see this is so this you see that this is a healing factor. Even for the mundane depression, anxiety, stress, and so forth, this would be greatly healing factor. Okay, so it says, whatever depends upon conditions, I consider them as empty. Empty of intrinsic reality. It doesn't mean that empty. Things to exist or not exist. Things exist, then it says it's empty. What does it mean by that? Empty of intrinsic reality. There's no intrinsic reality there, but things do exist. They don't exist intrinsically. So they exist subjectively. One who knows emptiness, the one who knows this emptiness correctly, that's a diligent person, that then all the mental control will have, control of one's own mind will happen. After the Buddha stated in the first line, whatever is produced from conditions is not produced, then in the second line, the Buddha indicated, with the second line, the manner of the non-production. How non-production? It is intrinsically, and it is not intrinsically produced. It's not just not produced, but the qualifier, intrinsicality, is to be added. It is not intrinsically produced. Thus, adding a qualifying phrase to the object negation, when it said not, it's not just a mere not, but not intrinsic. Qualifying a phrase to the object negation, the Buddha says that things are not produced intrinsically. Some hear these words and do not understand them. They say only the producer is not produced. So they take the words literally at face value, say that Buddha taught what is produced, not produced. So This is some contradiction. Some hear these words and do not understand them. They say only the produced is not produced, only the dependent does not depend. They evidently think that aggressively advocating this massive contradictions constitutes an advanced way, and they think this is a very advanced, sophisticated view, that what is produced is not produced, what is dependent is not dependent. This is just a sheer contradiction within your own the cognitive mind. So it says that this is also stated very clearly in the Descent into Langa Sutra. Langavatara Sutra is quoted by Acharya Chandrakirti in his clear words, Mahamati, thinking that they are not produced intrinsically, I said that all phenomena are not produced. It's very clear now. When I said the things are not produced, I meant not produced intrinsically. And this actually answers the question whether the qualification ultimately should be added, qualification meaning the qualifying phrase, ultimate, intrinsic, essential, and so forth should be added to the refutation of production and so forth. However, I will answer this question more specifically below in the following the paragraphs or the chapters. These points explained and above indicate that none of the refutations set forth by opponents can refute this procedure for posing things such as, so the Acharya Chandrakirti's position is that things exist. Yes? What are the two gates? Two things exist. Answer is yes. Is not no. Things do exist. What's the second gate? Do things exist objectively? What's the answer? No, things don't exist subjectively. Things exist, but they don't exist subjectively. They're empty of objective reality. If they're empty of objective reality, how do they exist then? You said it exists. They exist. How do they exist if they don't exist objectively? They exist subjectively. So they exist dependently. They exist subjectively. This is how we have to understand it. So these refutations, like the Theta Lemma, presented by refutation of the Theta Lemma presented by Nagarjuna, which we're going to read a little later. So these are not to reject the conventional existence. They are not to reject things. Things do exist, but they're to reject the intrinsic existence. So this distinction, existence and intrinsic existence, that's distinction. If you fail to understand this, then these complications arise. So the last paragraph reads, these points explained above indicate that none of the refutations set forth by the opponents against us can actually refute. They cannot refute this procedure of our position, the positing cause and effect in the absence of intrinsic existence. We say nothing exists intrinsically, but in cause and effect it exists. In the absence of intrinsic reality, still we can posit the functionality of cause and effect. So there's no contradiction. So the complementarity of these two cannot be rejected by the opponents who equate existence and intrinsic existence. In general, the hierarchy now, Lama Tsongkhapa is saying that in fact, this is the problem. So people, for example, like people who do not study Nagarjuna philosophy systematically, they just read it and they start teaching. They start teaching like this. And in fact, I met several of them. It's quite demoralizing, and to see that. So they said that Nagarjuna rejected everything: existence, non-existence, both exist, non-existence, and neither exist and neither non-existence. Rejected everything. And then what about enlightenment? Nagarjuna, does he believe in enlightenment, nirvana? Does he believe in law of karma? Does he believe in Buddha? Is he Buddhist, not Buddhist? All these questions. Then they will say that what they think is the highest view. And then somebody asks this question back to him or her, then you are trapped into internal contradiction. So this Lama Tsongkhapa says that all the refutation that you pose against others, when turned back to you, and if that rejects your position as well, this is the highest of the falsity in your reasoning, in your logic. So it says that, in general, the height of the false refutation is an argument that obliterates, that removes or that rejects somebody else's position as well as rejects your position, obliterates the analysis that was supposed to refute the opponents, leaving no trace. Leaving no trace, this is, again, a Tibetan, the phrase, how the translator tries to maintain the loyalty to the original Tibetan. It is like, say, so whatever you project on others, the refutation that you project on others, when turned back to you, your position also completely, this word, leaving no trace, means it rejects your position also completely rejects your own position. The refutation you put against others, if it's turned back to you, your position is also refuted. It's like a double-edged, what do you call it? Double-edged sword. You try to cut others and it also cut you. So this is it completely. So no, leaving no trace means it completely destroys your position. So thus your statement is the height of false refutation. This is because, now what is meant by height of false refutation? This is because the method you use, the earlier classical Tibetan, the scholars, the method that you use to refute your opponent's position, analyzing what the reason contradicts it, and so forth, can be turned against you yourself, and used to refute, which otherwise you used to refute your critique, or your qualm. By the opponents, you assert the existence of forms and such, so the analysis of them in terms of the four alternatives does bear upon your position. Okay, now this is again the background that we need to know is that those classical so why Lama Tsongkhapa focused so much on this part is that because it was a widespread the belief that this is the highest of the Buddhist the philosophy and the view to destroy the wrong views and to attain Buddhahood, attain enlightenment. And this is itself is a wrong view. So therefore, if this spreads, as poison spreads, it stops the people from attaining the enlightenment. People who are enthusiastic to follow the path of enlightenment, they will stop it. So therefore, the Lama Tsongkhapa put so much effort to make sure that this view is to be openly realized by the people that this is not the correct view. Okay, so the qualm, what the opponents again say is that if I say, what will you say? That if I say that you are an imperfect person, I'm a perfect person, you are an imperfect person because you depend on food. What do you say? You too are imperfect because you also depend on food. You're getting it? So we say, no, I have no position of my own. I have no position of my own. You're getting it? So actually, whatever I said against you, it actually contradicts myself. It's actually a refutation against myself. So this is what they are saying. Say that you means Acharya Chandrakirti, or you here, the participants of this retreat, you assert the existence of forms and so forth. Or how many you accept forms, the physical forms, your body, your mind, if you are in retreat, so how many you accept that? Okay, so those who do not raise your hands, you belong to that class? Okay, you accept you accept the existence of forms and such, so the analysis of them in terms of the four alternatives, that the form doesn't exist. Form doesn't exist as one, different, both one and different, neither these rejections, it falls on you because you accept form. Whereas for us, we have no thesis of our own. So this rejection is not applicable to me. In terms of the four alternatives, it does bear upon your position. We, however, have no position for our own. So why they are saying this is not that they are saying it's baselessly, because they have found what the Buddha taught. The Buddha taught that there's one line which the Buddha taught that I don't have the position of my own, so therefore I'm faultless. So what does the Buddha mean by that? Buddha says that I don't take the position of my own. And this also, Nagarjuna, you find this, again, the same statement said by Nagarjuna, that I don't believe in intrinsic reality. In whatever you discuss on the intrinsic reality, oh, you are saying that things don't exist, that things, so say the flower is not permanent. Flower is not permanent, flower is impermanent. You are saying this. But on the intrinsic level, I have no thesis, because I don't accept intrinsicality. I have the thesis on the conventional level. On the ultimate level, I have no thesis. This is what Nagarjuna is saying. What is what the Buddha is saying. Whereas they take it very literally. We have no thesis. So they mimic what the Buddha taught, what Nagarjuna is saying, that we have no thesis. Anybody who has a thesis, your position will be rejected by the rejection of the tetralema. Whereas for us, we have no thesis. Okay, now all the rejection will come here. Reply. This argument cannot avoid those fallacies. I'll explain this later in the section on whether the view is established through reductio ad absurdum arguments or through autonomous syllogism. I need to quickly explain what these two words mean, because that in the following passages, not passages, in the following the chapters, these are going to be discussed in great length. So first, reductio ad absurdum. In Tibetan, this is known as Telyur. Let me quickly explain what it means. For example, let's say that let's say that person A, I try to refute the position of the person A. Person A says, okay, I try to refute the person A has a position, a statement, made a statement, and I want to refute it. There are two ways of refuting it. One is through a proper reason. Proper reason meaning a reason which is applicable to anybody. For example, if somebody believes that the flower is produced, at the same time flower is produced, what is produced should be impermanent. You agree? What is produced should be impermanent. You agree? Good. So, if somebody says that the flower is permanent, I can say that the flower is the object, it is not permanent because it is produced. Does it work? Let me say this once more. The flower is the topic, it is not permanent because the person says the flower is permanent. And I say that the flower, no, I don't, what you said is incorrect, because the flower is the topic, it is not permanent because it's produced. Does it make sense or not? So, flower is produced. Whatever is produced should be impermanent, should not be permanent. So it works perfectly well. Now, this is known as the basic, syllogism, the valid syllogism. There's another way of rejecting others' view, which may not be applicable to all, but applicable to the particular person. For example, let's say the person says that all mugs should necessarily be gold, made of gold. If somebody says, I'm just creating easy reductio ad absurdum, what it is. If somebody believes that, if somebody believes that all mugs should necessarily be gold, solid gold, if there's a mug, it should be gold, then I can say that, okay, do you mean to say that the beggar is the topic? Is he rich? But the very definition beggar means poor. Beggar, is he rich? The person will say, why? The beggar should be rich because he has a mug. Not necessary. It should be necessary because whatever is a mug should necessarily be solid gold. Whoever has a solid gold should be rich. Right? So whoever has a mug should be rich is not applicable in the real life. But to this person, what he accepts, there is identifying the internal contradiction. Does it make sense to you? Let's say that, if I say that whatever is a mug should be a solid gold mug, then if I say, then you can you say that, okay, we, Can we tell that person that the beggar is the topic? Is he rich? We'll say, why? Not rich. Should be rich because he has a solid gold. Solid gold. So no, he doesn't have solid gold. He has a solid gold because he has a mug. Whatever is a mug should necessarily be a solid gold mug. So this is the internal contradiction there. So with the internal contradiction, then you're able to disprove the position of the other side, the means that you use to disprove the other's position by using the other's position itself to identify the internal contradictions known as reductio ad absurdum. Reductio ad absurdum. It is in the form of a reasoning with the topic, the predicate, and the sign, but it is not in the form of the reason which you can apply in general. It is only specifically applicable to that person. So this is very general understanding of what is known as reductio ad absurdum. At times, there are reductio ad absurdum which can easily be changed to proper syllogism. Okay, so now the next is the autonomous syllogism. Autonomous syllogism, in simple terms, for the time being, autonomous syllogism is intrinsic syllogism. Intrinsic syllogism. Intrinsic syllogism, or syllogism where the advocate believes in intrinsic reality. Syllogism where the advocates, the proponent of the syllogism believes in the intrinsic reality. This is known as autonomous syllogism. Okay, so this is going to be discussed in great length in the coming chapters. The next is D. Okay, this D comes from where? Somebody can help me? Okay, suddenly there's a D. What is this D? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, the brother Peck is saying reference 38, which means brother Peck is saying open this booklet. You're getting it when I'm saying that where did it come from? But they're saying open this booklet. You're getting it? Open this booklet and go to the extreme left. Okay. By the way, okay, Ravena, I'm sorry. Okay, so Brother Peck is asking us to go to reference number 38, page 8 of the booklet, and reference number 38. It says, a refutation of all four parts of the tetralemma: things exist, things do not exist, things exist, not exist both, and then neither exists nor non-existent, is not a legitimate critic of conventional phenomena. Okay, and this comes from where? It comes from where? Oh, Kumbala. Go to reference number 29. How do we know that? How do I know it? Huh? How do I know it? I have to go to reference number 29. It's a part of reference 34. So where should so where is 39? 29, where is it? Huh? No, what I'm saying is that this, does it have cross-reference? Reference 38, does it have cross-reference? So 34 doesn't have cross-reference number. 29. Huh? 29. So this is not easily, it's not in here. Huh? No, what I'm saying is, reference number 38, it says, the refutation of four parts of the tetralemma. We are reading this or not? This one. But it doesn't say any cross-reference. It doesn't have any cross-reference. Huh? Or it's missing? It's missing or not missing? I don't know whether you're giving in the proper direction, wrong direction. I'm not too sure. So I have to check the author of this compilation. Let me know if they cross-reference or not. Reference number 38. So does it have a cross-reference? Yes, no. Where's cross-reference? I don't see it there. No, this is no. It doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like this. So the cross-reference number is missing. Cross-reference number is missing. But I'm glad that you put more effort. Cross-reference number makes you easier. That's known as it'll pamper you. You're getting it, and you become spoiled. So as you put effort, because you do not see the cross-reference number. This is how the Geshis they study. Without cross numbers, they will check. Okay. So it came from where? It came from reference number 34, which is showing that the Madhyamaka critique does not refute conventional existence. And this came from where? So reference that. So here the reference number is 29. 29 is where 29? To the extreme left. It says, showing that the Madhyamaka critique does not eradicate conventional existence, and it comes from where? So what are its counter outlines? How many counter outlines are there? Only one. They're showing that those systems contradict the unique feature of the Madhyamaka. So these two come from where? Come from the 27. Second, showing that these assertions are wrong. And this showing that these assertions, what do you mean by those assertions? How do you know that? Go to reference number 26. Where is number 26? Showing that those assertions are wrong. So what do you mean by those assertions? We have to know the main umbrella. What is the main umbrella of that? 24. Refuting an overly broad identification of the object to be negated. What does it mean by that? Overly broad identification of object negation. What do you mean by that? Maximalist redundancy. The problem is maximal. So this is how we use this booklet. You're getting it? Outlines. And once you get used to it, it becomes so easy. Not only it becomes easy, the best part is that literally you will feel that, I'm using the word literally. Literally you will feel that your mind is expanding, your cognitive mind, not the heart. You're getting it? Heart expansion happens with the practice of compassion. Cognitive mind keeps expanding. With this, the ease expands. Ease expands. So therefore, some people just cognitively, when you read extremely sophisticated texts, they just get glued. Why they get glued? Some people, they feel bored. Some people, they get glued. What's the difference? Because those people where their mind is just glued to the sophistication. More sophisticated, their mind is more glued because they could feel the ease. 5 ever-present mental factors. What are they? Contact, attention, discrimination, feeling, internal. Amazing. Wow. Amazing. Okay, thank you. So of these 5, let's say that the sophistication, wow, it's very sophisticated. Sophisticated is happening on the which level? Discrimination. This sophistication, how you are seeing the sophistication of this text? Because of the contact and the attention. These two gather the information, very sophisticated, when it comes in contact with the very sophisticated information. And then you pay attention, and then discrimination comes, wow, this is very sophisticated. Or some people, oh, too much, very sophisticated. Some, wow, it's very sophisticated. So what makes the difference? Feeling. For some people, when the sophistication, when you meet with the sophistication, you realize it's very sophisticated, then the feeling eases. You feel the ease. Ease expands. And that ease is so profound. So the more the ease, the deeper the ease, the more profound the ease, your mind is more glued to this. For example, like Lama Tsongkhapa, if you read his biography, just at the age of like 17, 18, 19, 20, there, once he left to the central Tibet from his homeland. From there, just he left when he was a teenager. When he left, he was sent to central Tibet by his teacher, the Kungo Tunduk. No. Chuje. Tunduk. Then from that day onwards, he did not meet his mother throughout his life. He did not meet. And just at the age like 20, 21, he sent a message to his mother saying that, Mom, I do miss you. I do need to come to meet you. But at the moment, it's a great opportunity for me to be with my teacher, the luminary, such an exemplary great teacher, Jesu is here. And I'm getting the opportunity to study many things with my teacher. So instead of coming there, I rather find it more meaningful to be here to make sure that I'm around my teacher to receive these teachings. So why? Because that his mind feels tremendous ease when he meets with this sophisticated philosopher of Nagarjuna, Acharya Chandrakrit, and so forth. So the ease comes. For some people, ease is not coming. Instead, the mind shrinks. Oh, too much. Too much. So why? Why this difference? Why this difference? Is because of when this feeling, there's a difference because unpleasant feeling comes for some people. For some people, the pleasant feeling comes. If you are somebody where the pleasant feeling comes, to see the sophistication and with the discrimination is very sophisticated, very complex. If the feeling, the next feeling, if the feeling is pleasant feeling comes, the mind will embrace. If the feeling is profoundly pleasant, the mind will profoundly embrace it. It's very different. For example, say in the monastic universities, the Guru devotion is so profound, it's amazing. And some people, for example, in my life, I've seen some who demonstrate extremely profound compassion. I've seen. And most of them are amongst the monks who are scholarly, extremely brilliant scholar and profoundly compassionate. So for them, they can see the vastness and the depth of the reality, and then the compassion becomes extremely vast and extremely profound. So with this, when the feeling is profoundly pleasant, then the intention will embrace, because we like the pleasant feeling. We like the profoundly pleasant feeling. And that pleasant feeling, we like it, and how to because we like it, we want to sustain it. How to sustain it? Sustain the trigger of the pleasant feeling. What's the trigger of the pleasant feeling? The sophisticated text. So they will be glued to the sophisticated text. Whereas the feeling is unpleasant feeling, then what happens is that you like the unpleasant feeling or not? You don't want the unpleasant feeling. Because you don't want the unpleasant feeling, you want to terminate the unpleasant feeling. How to terminate? Terminate, trigger the unpleasant feeling. What's the trigger of the unpleasant feeling? Sophisticated text. So you run away from the sophisticated text. So now, but if you run away, you are running away from the escape route. Escape from samsara. You run away from the escape route. If you run away from some escape route, you go deeper into samsara. You go deeper into the tears. We go deeper into tears of the painful tears of samsara. So how should you do that? Now our job is to learn how to embrace the sophisticated text. How to do that? No, you have to. This is the only way. This is the only way. You like it, and you have to do it. Study it. Don't go away. Go to retreat. Study it. No, I don't know. I feel so heavy. No, you have to study. This is the only way. This is not how it works. What should you do? Change the feeling. encounter with the text, the feeling is unpleasant. Now your friends, your family members, they're forcing you. Do this, this is the only way, and so forth. Unpleasant feeling is fastered. The more the unpleasant feeling is fastered, the more you will run away from it. So therefore, you have to change the feeling from unpleasant to the pleasant. How to make it? If the unpleasant feeling is 80% unpleasant, make it 70% unpleasant. Which means 20% pleasant, it rose to 30% pleasant. Then the 30% to make it 40% to 50%. How to change it gradually? Don't just push directly. So you want to give a shape. This is a beautiful design, very beautiful. And now I also like to give the same design, and you just twist it like it'll break. Don't twist it. So take a very organic, slow change, How? Say, for example, oh, this is little, I don't understand this bullet. I don't know how to use it. There's so many numbers. I don't know. What is it? It's very complicated. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, right? Okay, so there, then what do? Is that you can help yourself, or somebody else. If you're lucky, there's somebody else to help you. Or if you're smart, you go to somebody else to seek help. How? Just look at somebody, and so who enjoys using this? Who enjoys? Brother Peg. Go to Brother Peg and just be with him and see what he's doing. He's doing it. Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting. Oh, this has 3 parts. There's 3 parts. And you don't know all these numbers. And Brother Peg is very skilled. He'll say, don't worry, just do it. What is it? These 3 parts. So they come from where? Those 3 parts, the 4 parts come from the second, showing that that's amazing. Amazing. When somebody says, this is amazing, pleasant, unpleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling, you're getting it? So now pleasant feeling is increased from 10% to 11%. 1% increase. Wow, still the broad picture is not there, right? Okay, now Brother will say, now keep the book there. Right? Keep the book there, you feel happy again. It's not forcing me. Then again Brother Book is reading. So this came from where? The 3 came from this, and this came from where? Oh, reference number what? So these came from reference number 29. Where is 29? Can you see this? Yes, where is 29? Go to extreme left. Extreme left 29. Yeah, this there. What is it? Read it. Showing that the mathematical. So this comes from where? It's 27. It's only 2 steps ahead. Showing that these assumptions are wrong. Amazing. Now you got it, right? Wow, yes, now I got it. More. So now from 11, it moves to 15. So this is how we skillfully change the feeling from unpleasant to pleasant feeling. And gradually you get a broader sense. Then, do you know the old style generators? Electricity generators, how does it work? Hey, Dr. Nzira, tell me how the old style generators work. First you press it like this, 1, 2, 3, and then gradually you don't press it anymore. Self-operation starts. You're getting it? This is where we can help others gradually in skillful ways, and you can also help yourself. Don't force yourself, because that he knows everything, everybody, he knows everything. It's amazing. I'm just a hopeless person. No, help yourself. How? You also have to Buddha nature. You also have to Buddha nature. Help yourself. How? Don't force yourself too much. Take a small step. Take a small step, and if you feel happy, stay there. Then take the next step, small step. 2 small steps combined together, it becomes 2. Earlier it was 1. Now it becomes 2. Then add 1 more, it becomes 3. So it becomes like aeroplane flying. So first somebody has to drag the aeroplane. There's a cart pulling the aeroplane to put on the track. Once you put on the track, it moves 1,000 kilometers. No, 1 kilometer per hour. Tick, 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 tick. Then 3 kilometers, 10 kilometers. When will it ever fly like 1,000 kilometers per hour? but let it go in this space, 1 kilometer per hour, 3 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 300 kilometers, then it will take a flight. 300 kilometers per hour, then it takes flight. Oh, here, the pilot. Losala. Or Gili Shambhala, several names are there. Subala is there. Gili Shambhala is there. Okay, so this is how our mind works. You have Buddha energy inside. Just remove the dirt slowly, then Buddha energy will manifest. Okay, so let's quickly read this and we'll stop here. We are reading D on page 189. A refutation of all four parts of the Theta Lemma is not a legitimate critique of conventional phenomena. Saying that the Theta Lemma, this word Theta Lemma, this is the four modes, rejection of the four modes, rejection of Theta Lemma, rejection of four modes. So the four modes, there are many versions. It's not just only one version, there are many versions. For example, like production from self, production from others, production from both self and others, and causes production of four. Let's say not permanent, not impermanent, not permanent, impermanent both, not non-permanent, not non-permanent, the permanent. So there were again four. Not existent, not non-existent, not existent both, neither non-existent, no non-existent. So there are so many versions of Theta Lemmas. You're getting it? Don't think there's only one. So with this mind, so Theta Lemma being discussed here, Theta Lemma being rejected here is, it says that it's not a legitimate. So again, same thing. Say if you believe in what? The things exist or not exist? You believe or you don't believe? Yes, you believe in things existing. Everything exists. For example, say the Indian satellite landed on the moon. Yes, we accept. The proof is here. Our director is here, right? This is all existent. We cannot deny the reality. They exist. They exist. But what do you say? What do you reject? We reject them to existing intrinsically. They do exist. Now the opponents say that the Buddha, Nagarjuna, rejected all the four modes: existence, non-existence, both existence, non-existence, neither existence, non-existence, all are rejected. So all are rejected. So therefore, where's the room for conventional existence? Where's the room for the conventional reality? So this is the opponents, the argument. So what do we say? So exists, does not exist, and so forth. They're all on the level of ultimate or intrinsic level. On the intrinsic level, exist, non-exist, nothing makes sense. Okay, let me give an example. Let's say, okay, you are sleeping. You're sleeping. And say that on 16th, you know what's happening on 16th? Hey, no idea? No idea. Huh? Okay, so the organized, they know what I'm saying, so that's not confirmed, right? Don't give a false hope. Okay, say that tonight you have a dream of our organizers taking us to His Holiness the Dalai's audience. And after the audience, it's all dream. So therefore not confirmed. And His Holiness tells the organizers, oh, we'll have a cup of tea with me. Happy, not happy? Very happy. Okay. Then you come back in the dream, you come back after the very happy moment, coming back, and they say you hear a very sad news of something, a big tragedy happened to your family, whatever. Okay. And then you feel so sad, so demoralized. Okay, one is so happy moment, one is a very unhappy moment, and in between, neutral moment. Okay. So in the dream, if somebody tells you, did you have a very happy moment with His Holiness? Yes. Did you have a very unhappy moment when you heard the tragedy at home? You said, yes. And in between there was a neutral moment? Yes. The moment you wake up, the beautiful moment, this was just my dream. The unhappy moment, that was just my dream. The neutral moment just was dream. So in the context, the happy, unhappy, neutral, they're all in the context of the dream. The moment you come out of the dream, you're in a different context. From that point of view, you're freed from the happy moment, unhappy moment, and the neutral moment, whatever happened in the dream, you're freed from that. You're getting it? So all these existence, non-existence, when the Buddha taught that, when Nagarjuna taught that, that is all in the context of one domain, the domain of intrinsic reality. In the ultimate domain, none of these four holds true. But in the conventional domain, things do exist. Existence is there, non-existence is there. For example, like the table exists, and the tiger in this hall doesn't exist. Existence and non-existence, they do make sense in the conventional sense. In the ultimate sense, they don't make sense. Okay, how many understood this resents? Good. Now the opponents, they cannot make this distinction. The dream level, waking state level. Ultimate level, conventional level. They don't make this distinction. They think that the Buddha is rejecting everything. You're getting it? The conventional, ultimate, there's no distinction. When the Buddha rejects, means rejects. It doesn't exist. Flower doesn't exist. Self doesn't exist. This is what the opponents think. So let me read the quorum and then we stop here. The mathematical text refute the quorum from the opponent's side said, the mathematical text refute all four parts of the tetralemma. A thing or intrinsic nature, to be existent, to be non-existent, both existent and does not exist, and neither exists nor not exists. Reason refutes everything. So the opponent thinks that, look, these are the reasons. They reject all the four possibilities. They know, for example, how many agree with me that if there's a human being here on the planet, in this room, the human being should be either in the same 30 below, 30 and below, or 30 plus. If there's somebody, should be one of these two. You agree, presents? If somebody doesn't fall under these two categories, that is not a human being. You agree? So likewise, they think that these are only four ways by which something to exist. When you reject these four, you are rejecting the object. So it says that reason refutes everything. The reason of rejecting these tetralemma. So refutes everything because nothing exists in the domain of these four, the possibilities. As there are no phenomena that are not included among these four. So they said nothing exists because these are the reasons, very powerful reasons, and that these powerful reasons, they reject everything because nothing exists in the domain of these four possible existence. So therefore nothing exists. So what is your response? Anyone quick before we leave for lunch? Yes, Anna Sophie. Here, Anna Sophie, raise hand. Anna Sophie, raise hand. Our cameraman. Yes.
Sorry, I've just forgotten. Can you repeat, please?
Okay. The question is that the opponent says that the reason of rejecting the tetralemma rejects everything because nothing exists in one of these four possibilities. For possible mode of existence. So reason rejects everything, so therefore nothing exists.
That's not true. They reject, what we reject is intrinsic existence, the way the things exist intrinsically, not existence.
Okay, what Anna Sophie is saying is that it's not true. Is it true that this reasoning rejects all the four possibilities? Answer is yes. They reject all the four possibilities, but all the four possibilities are within the confinement of the belief in intrinsic reality. So intrinsic intrinsic nature of the existence, non-existence, so forth, they are rejected. But we don't believe in intrinsic reality. We believe in existence on the conventional level. That is not rejected. This is the answer. So if you get it, we don't have to read the next paragraph. We'll skip. Okay, we'll stop here. Tabge doje shaje reso chon shenge meto dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye yebo kyola chaselo mone mone mahamona yeswa mahamona yeswa mone mone mahamona yeswa mone mone mahamona yeswa mone mone mahamona yeswa mone mone mahamona yeswa. Three processions together.